Shamps and giggles. History, news, views, and reviews from a black perspective. Shamps and giggles back for 2024. Oh my
So yeah, welcome back, guys. It's quite interesting, this Brunel University. I don't even catch the whole story, but they're inviting students from the Caribbean to come and study at the. Is that because they're going to be helpful to these students in the Caribbean, or is that because they're just trying to make up their numbers? I don't get the story. What's the story telling us?
The story is that the UK universities are advertising to the Caribbean communities in the Caribbean to lure foreign students. Yeah, so you've got the more affluent. You've got a lot of these universities are not taking any students locally, so they're going to the Caribbean. So,
Yeah, why?
Because that's how they make their money from international students.
Oh, so the international students are more likely to pay than are the local students.
But they have to pay. You go to university, you have to pay. But it seems like there's a low intake of UK students converting into university. But it's
Brunel University, for example, is ranked 38th in the United Kingdom and 342nd in the world.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, and they produce quite a lot of good students and good.
Do they?
Yeah, Brunel in Uxbridge, London.
Brunel.
Sorry, Brunel is an engineering. It's by Brunel, who's an engineer. It's a top university. But other universities are UCL, University of York. These are the ones that are luring the Caribbean students to the UK.
Have they reduced the price?
Huh?
Have they reduced the price of entry to Caribbean students?
No. It's they're offering their services to. If you look, they're welcoming. They're saying.
Yeah, right, you're right, Miss Lee.
The reason why they're doing that is because the international student has dropped. Look at the statistics.
1 minute. I need to read what Miss Leisha was saying about, and then you can come in about the statistics. 1 minute. Miss Leisha, you are right. Oxford University, it says here, says it's welcoming the students from all backgrounds, including ethnic, racial, and religious minorities, and those from low-income households. The university also offers programs to help students from underrepresented groups, such as targeting Oxbridge, which helps Black, African, and Caribbean students and students of mixed race with Black, African, and Caribbean heritage to get into Oxford and Cambridge. Yeah, Target Oxbridge, OX Bridge, includes a residential in Oxford, mentoring by Oxford graduates, and other sessions throughout the year. And that is absolutely brilliant. So
notice what you said there. So
yes.
that Oxbridge is Oxford and Cambridge put together.
Combined, yes.
And this Oxbridge people is helping people to get into either Oxford or Cambridge.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Send me the information. I'll be making sure my son goes in that direction.
It's 10,000 for the tuition, according to undergraduate tuition fees.
Yeah.
Starts in England £9,250. Does that include accommodation?
Yeah.
No, it does not.
Well, I don't know about Oxford.
No, it does not. That's just the basic fees. Accommodation is a lot more.
Right, because they built all them buildings.
Accommodation is a nightmare.
Yeah, so that's probably why they're trying to invite people to accommodate them, isn't it?
Yeah,
so they can pay for it.
Well, it's expensive, and as I said, their international intake for students has recently just dropped, and with their current nonsense that they've been doing with the race riots, people don't want to come. People are going to other places. Other places are offering far better opportunities than the UK.
Less drama.
Yeah, very true.
It is less drama. I'm sorry to say that, but it is. But what
Having
it is
said that,
they're
though,
saying and what they're trying to say, because I looked at the statistics recently, and what they're saying is that, you know, it's time that that does drop, and they do look more to home, because I've always said, you know, you have a host of people here that are unemployed and not working. How comes you can't re-educate and reskill your own workforce?
because they're unemployed. You know, that's an interesting conversation because unemployed people, why doesn't the government have a provision to put them into? I remember when I was a youth, they had YTS and all them things to get you
Yeah,
up
it's
to
now
speed.
coming back. It's now coming back.
Now,
Yeah, it's now. Well, I know that. Well, come on, they've pulled out of the EU. When you pull out of the EU, do you know how much funding? Do you realize that the whole of like your science section and so forth suddenly went when we
yeah,
came
yeah,
out?
yeah.
Do you know how much the EU was plugging into, and also into women, black women, underrepresented in businesses and things like that. All of that funding that was there before we pulled out was coming from the EU. Now that they pulled out, we that all of that money's done. All the
Yeah,
training.
and this is what confuses.
No. There's some big training that has suffered right about now in terms of education. Okay, because we pulled out, and they have not given back the funding to certain courses.
Okay, so when you say that, so does Miss Leisha, do you have the same point of view as what Pinky's just said?
I will say that, you know, there are dependent, look, they have scholarships. There are grants as well. The scholarships are obviously dependent on how well you do in your A levels. So you've got to get really good grades, consistent good grades in your A levels and your GCSEs to be given a scholarship for a lot of these universities. And you know, I'm looking at some of these universities. For example, I think it's Plymouth University, and they were in Trinidad and Tobago only back in March, where they were scouting for and holding meetings for to invite students to move to the UK and study in their university. So it's a big thing, and some of these students will have scholarships. And although accommodation is pricey in the UK, they will get a scholarship somehow. They'll get the money to do it. Not everybody is finding it difficult. Not everybody. There's a lot of people out there with money.
Yeah.
That's very true.
People have got money, and they will find a way to get funding to study here. So, you know, I think it's wrong of us to say, oh, it's not accessible. It is accessible if you really search for it. People do.
It's not a matter of
Do you know what I find weird though is that, like Pinky was saying, that a lot of funding has come out since we left the EU, Brexit, right? Nigel Farage was a major cause of the country pulling out of Brexit. Clearly, it's all gone wrong. It's just not gone the way that they said it was going to go, right? It just amazes me that he's an MP now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an MP now.
Yeah, he's got a seat.
He finally got a seat. Yeah.
So that's just
that guy.
Him and 10 others, they got a seat.
But that guy,
yeah,
led the country down clearly the wrong. And even now with this race, he's led all them people down the wrong path again. That guy's an MP.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, he certainly is.
The first time in British history.
For him, yeah. Miss Leisha, was your hand still up or is flexing?
About the Brexit. And the point of Brexit, what happened with Brexit, a lot of people left the UK because they didn't get their stay in the UK. So they went back to Europe. A lot of Europeans went back home. And a lot of jobs became vacant because of that. But those jobs were never filled. They still aren't filled in quite a number of sectors. And Farage, it's quite interesting because Farage went to Europe and he lived in Europe. Like you couldn't make this up. He was saying that we need to have Brexit, that England needs to be independent from the Europeans. But what he did was, as soon as Brexit happened, he went to Europe.
Yeah.
And his wife is she European?
European. And now that he's got a seat in Parliament, now he's back in the UK, and he's spitting a load of other rubbish about, about immigration.
Yeah.
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 You can't make it up.
Yeah.
It's low.
I
Immigration is like it's low.
One minute, Pinky. Yeah. Carry on.
He knows how to motivate the uneducated.
Yes.
Because they don't read, they don't listen, they read rubbish newspapers, they talk rubbish in the pubs and what have you to one another, about what's happening. And if they did, they'll think Farage, shut up. You've ruined a lot of things.
You've ruined the country,
Yeah.
Because of Brexit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he gets a seat. Now, as an MP, he earns, I think it's like 85,000. He's paid. If he weren't paid before, he's paid now.
He gets paid from other areas. But we've also got to remember, I think that what's happening in the news now is that some people are trying to blame the Labour government, which is interesting because they've only just got in. Taken their coats off yet. And they've completely forgot that we've had a Conservative government for a number of years. And more recently, Sunak and the rest of his team were spitting a lot of racist things.
Yeah.
Braverman included.
Yeah.
So, I think it's down to the last government and Farage. Farage is just rolling their on
Farage, definitely. I mean, he's just an idiot. I just don't know how he gets the support. I mean,
Rishi
can get support.
One minute. Yeah. So, carry on, Joe.
Yeah, clearly idiots can get supporters. I mean, Farage is he's just the what do you call the clown? The class clown. Him. He's just a class clown. I just don't get it. I mean, I'm clearly missing the boat. But I don't see how people can vote. Get that guy into government. Maybe you know what, we have too much respect for government. Maybe it doesn't require that much. Class clown with a pint. Yeah, you're too right. Maybe it doesn't require that much to get into government because it bewilders me. It's that is a joke right there. That is a joke. George is in the building. Big up, George.
Go ahead, Miss Leisha. This is Shamps and Giggles. We talk the things, listeners. Thank you very much for your listening ears. Carry on, Miss Leisha. Go ahead.
I said, Joe, it is because he knows what he speaks to a lot of people at that level. He goes to the pubs, he sits down with them, and he talks to them like they do, and they feel there's a connection. And that's how he's got his followers. It's about having a connection with a community of people who feel that they are not being listened to. And that's what he is. He's that missing link. Some of the people feel that they're not being listened to. I understand that they probably don't feel that they're listened to, but to go out and riot and all of that is wrong. But going back, we're moving off the topic of the universities. Yeah. Universities, obviously, it's great because it means that there's the Caribbean culture is to be educated. Really, it's education. Really push to do really good in the school as good as we possibly can. And there are parents who've got the money to put their children through.
What, from the Caribbean?
Absolutely. There are a lot of parents who are doing very well and will send their children to America or to the UK. I know a couple of people who've got their children in America, but they've got them on scholarships.
Scholarships is a key thing. I mean, that's a massive way to get money.
UK as well. Kids can have scholarships to go to top secondary schools and sixth forms in the UK. You just need to push your child to do very, very good in their SATs.
Yeah. No, you're quite right.
Yeah, there are a lot of
£10,000 to the Caribbean. I think the EC is isn't it $4 to the pound?
We don't need to think about that, because the thing is that there are we got to stop comparing our money to theirs. There are people making a lot of money, they're earning dollars, US dollars. We can't all think, oh, because they're from the Caribbean and not earning much. No,
no, not at all. I think everybody's rich myself. I mean, everybody's rich.
Yeah. They are earning a lot of money.
Yeah. So it's quite amazing. The youth then we're going to get a good education, and then they can become the entrepreneurs of the future.
Very true.
And then it's just going to be a changing dynamic. I mean, 10 years from now, we'll be looking around saying, wow.
Yeah, very
go
true.
on with it.
I think, George, did you have your hand up? Welcome. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think universities will wait and see how this pans out. But I think it's a good thing. Maybe it's been going on a while and we didn't know about it, but I think it's a good thing for the Caribbeans to get an Oxford and Cambridge degrees and scholarships if they can get it. Because I know I say that the majority of the Caribbean education system, when especially the primary and secondary, they're very up there. They're very well.
Funny, you're talking about one of the universities in the Caribbean was a top university.
Yeah.
So that confused me as well. Why would they leave? If there's a top university that's doing better than the university in this country, why would they leave and come all the way over here? Look, George got his hand up. He's wondering, why would they leave and come over here?
George, go ahead.
They experienced a different culture like everybody else does that are normal people.
Well, I guess, yeah, valid point. And get
I was going to say about now, if you look at where he's got his seat in Clacton, it's one of the poorest places in the whole country. They were on the benefits program. That's where Jaywick is. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't done that by coincidence. He's gone into where he knows he can spit his vitriol.
Right. They've done their research. You're quite right.
Yeah.
You're quite. Where does Farage live? Does he live in Clacton? Do you have to be, if you're an MP of a certain constituency, you have to live there, right?
You have to live in that location, yes.
So he lives in poor Clacton.
He lives in Clacton, some part of Clacton he lives in, yeah.
Well, I guess there may be a more affluent area of Clacton.
Yeah. And Spice says University of the West Indies and Cave Hill in Barbados. Very, very.
What's Cave Hill in Cave Hill? What's that? Is that a place in Barbados?
Spice?
Cave Hill is the university in Barbados.
Oh, it's called Cave Hill Uni. Oh, okay.
One of the best. It's one of the best. Also in Jamaica.
Right. So why are they coming here?
Well, and Trinidad and Tobago in St. Augustus is also another top university. And the reason why they would come here is just like what George just said. It is about having that experience. Even people from America will come here to the UK and maybe do a year when they're doing like law, because how our law is and how American law is, they might even come for a year just to have that extra experience.
Right, and to say, of course, that they studied in England, or it's always a perk to say you studied outside of your country.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more to do with experience, really, because Barbados. I'm glad Spice said it herself. Barbados, it was ranked, 6th in the whole of the world in terms of literacy rate. So
yeah, I remember us talking about it.
Yeah. It is because we have a lot of Jamaicans that come over to Barbados, and if you even look at they're the ones that Jamaica has held they have a challenge, which is a university challenge, which is a worldwide university challenge, and they've held that for a number of years as well. So, but like I said, it is about experience. It is about coming out and meeting the wider world.
And mind you, from the other side of the coin, maybe the university in Barbados, maybe it's full. One called Cave Hill campus. Maybe it's full, so people have no choice. Where are we going to go now? The university's full. Oh, we have to go.
Well, that could be another. Yeah, there is that too. There is that too, because it's the only one. So there is that too, where people want to come out and go to either places like America. But what I'm actually saying, my thing is that I know, you know, since under Conservative, you know, in terms of education and that, I think our schools have really been hit hard. I don't think that they've done very well under Conservative. Labour, a Labour government, you know, it was Harold Wilson. Sorry to keep going back, but you know,
That's a long way back, you know, Harold
Yeah.
Wilson.
I know, yeah. I'm just trying to say they're the that were more into educating a country. Okay, Britain lost in education, in educating a country, and that began from the 70s right up until the 80s and 90s. It's only now these 2000s young people that are coming out might still be a bit more, I would say, up the ladder, okay, but yet still, since we came out of the EU, because the EU did so much. I can't even begin to tell you in terms of science. I can't begin to tell you.
So there's a void then, that's what you're saying.
No, because you don't know. If you're not in education and you haven't done studies, like myself, that has been consistent with education from I was like 19, in and out. I will know the knock-on effect that it's had in terms of pulling back resources for education, educating our young people. Because you see, like Leisha says, what about those that don't make it through their stats? You know, not everybody, right? So because they don't make it through their stats, right? They you let them go. No, there's other skills. There's other things. There's 200 different methods of teaching. We only use one, okay? And ours is just by memory.
How many methods of learning are there?
Nearly 200.
Of teaching and 200 of learning. That's a good balance.
Let me get my book. Where's my book? I'm sure.
While you're searching for your book, let Leisha come in.
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you. Miss Leisha, go ahead. You had your hand up.
I can't remember. Well, I can't remember what I was going to say. Harold Wilson, I put in the chat, was way before I was born, so I don't know what he
was. That 67, 66, 65?
Yeah, way before I was even born. I just like he difference to me. But I'm going to say about why somebody would move to another country for education for a variety of different reasons. Very simply, it could have been the specific course that they're interested in that they won't have in the Caribbean. But yeah, it could also be the facilities. So access to the facilities, okay, and networking as well. I think when I went to university years ago, many, many years ago, I didn't really pay attention to networking and how the power of networking at that age could be as you get older and try and climb the ladder in your career. And some people do that to for a network and join an alumni and stick to it. But it's a mixture of things. And it's not just necessarily because they want to see culture. It's like, it's not just that. It could be for a variety of different reasons why they'd want to move to another, because it's not easy to move from one country to another, not know anybody and study. Very expensive.
Yeah, mind you, not knowing anybody will help you study, be more focused with just studious activities, right? Because what else are you going to do if you're bored?
Yeah, but as a young person, can be very difficult to not have any friends and study. But it's good to do when you're young, because it's easy to make friends. It's easy to people. It's easy to build with other people. Have a common goal as well, because you're in that university environment. No,
absolutely. No, so Joel, my son, he went to America, and as you say, it was a bit of a hustle, but he made it work in a short time frame, because they can, innit? They and it was surprising the kind of help that he got. from people in and around, and he was being successful over there. Went into uni, left uni, got himself a place to live,
Brilliant.
and found work. He's over here now saying the money he's getting here is useless.
Oh my gosh. He's doing very well over there.
He's doing
Yeah, very good.
So yeah, the young people do have that resilience to be focused and to get help from the other youth them in the area, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's the young ones that's focused, by the
That's
way.
right.
We're not talking about anybody else.
Yeah.
Times are different now because the information they've got and what they can do with it is much more than what we had probably 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago, you know?
Yeah, there was no YouTube 30 years ago.
Yeah. TikTok.
Many different ways now.
Definitely no TikTok.
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were pushed to go to university because that was the next step to do. But
Yeah.
now a lot of the kids are saying, why should I go to university when I can do something entrepreneurial now? I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need a degree for anything. Everything's there. I could do a course online in 10 days.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It take me, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, depending on what I'm going to do. If I want to a lawyer, whatever it might be.
Spin Doctor is in the building. Look, Angela's in the building. Big up, big up, big up. Claire P, we see your camera's off.
Yeah.
Yolande is here. Sophia. I'm just calling. I haven't seen the names of them in a long time. I call them.
Go ahead, man.
Pinky.
I'm just saying, they, you see, even there, the thing there is like a lot of young people are not only saying that, what they're actually saying is they don't want that debt. They don't want that debt when they come out of uni. They don't want a £30,000 debt.
Yeah.
You understand? Because, we're saying it like it's, for a lot of low income families who go on and do training, you have a debt because you've got to pay it back and you have to pay that money.
Yeah.
You understand? So, and when we think about it, all of those politicians, such as who you mentioned, your education was free for you. When you went to uni, it was free. You did not have debt to come out with.
Yeah.
You move the goalposts. Okay. Why should our young people, and as I said, I'll go back to Harold Wheels, because they were the ones who brought out the OU, the Open University, right? It was under Labour that created the Open University. So Conservative has never been one for educating its people, its workforce, training, all of those trainings that you were getting at work for the last 100 years was under the EU. You're not going to get a lot of training and things. You'll find that you're employed. They're not going to want to be doing that. Education is going to fall away unless Labour now pick up the bill for certain areas and put back money into education. Don't care what you lot say. There's no money. They've been crying out for years. And our children who went through COVID suffered during the period of time that they interrupted their education.
Of course.
Okay? No child has been fully compensated for that in terms of giving them back. Some schools, I give thanks, my son's school did try and work with them, took them away when they went back, took them away on weekend where they can concentrate on certain areas of their work. Not every schools did that in London. The government gave back nothing to schools.
Yeah.
Okay.
School funding was school funding cut.
Young children here at schools will know, right? When you're in education, listen, they've been, look, you will see soon. We would have to pay that Labour. No, yeah, because you can't understand that people cannot see the effects under Conservative in terms of education and all of the nonsense that we've got. Even today, look at those people who are right. Even there, that's ignorance. That's because, and when you're talking about, George is saying it's the most poorest part of the area. Yeah. That part of the area. I can tell you, that's not only the area being poor, that's poor in economics, education, everything, schooling, everything has been a total failure.
Mm.
And that's why they're behaving the way they're behaving. It's not only about that, of course, thugs who don't have nothing to do will behave like that because they're frustrated and they're coming to take out their real frustration on you. You meet them some days at work when they come in to bring their frustration to you.
Yeah, well, Pinky, you've said a
Ignorant.
lot about the education, Pinky. So I just need to find out how Miss Leisha and others find that. Listeners, we're talking to things about education and universities, and that's how we do it. It's from our own perspective. That's right. So, Miss Leisha, go ahead. Last word from you.
Yeah, really quickly, just to say that there are businesses that you can go on apprenticeship schemes with. If you're working full time as well, there are companies who will sponsor you to do courses as well. You just need to look for them. Honestly, you can go on a DWP, you can go for short courses. You can go on loads of courses, they're all there. The thing is, they are all there. They are there. There are courses everywhere. I think that the way it used to be set up is different to how it is now. And I think that we've got to put hope in people, our listeners, to say, if you really want to do something,
go and do it.
Yeah,
no, absolutely, you can.
Go and do it. You can.
DWP, what's that? Department for Work
and Pension.
Yeah.
That's government building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Government website.
And they're offering courses.
Yeah, you can go on DWP and it gives you more information about how to go on courses. There are loads of websites that give you free courses. You can go into Read and you can do a free course on there.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, there's no reason for anyone to be out of work because you can go and, as you say, do a course and of course then apply for work in that arena. I was listening to the news today and they were saying how this country, and you lot have mentioned it, right, is underskilled.
Yeah.
This country is underskilled.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a lot of work.
Isn't that to do with education?
One minute.
This country is underskilled. So there's a lot of work because, I mean, underskilled, the country's a bit doppy, as you were saying, Pinky. They've held back on investment into education. So there's a lot of work and they're obviously trying to appeal to foreign nationals to come in and do that work. But yeah, just get skilled in something, not everything, in something, and you can find work. There's a lot of work out there.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. CEO. And that's the last on that subject. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, this is what Shamps and Giggles do. Every Friday, we talk the things, all right? And that's why we're getting more and more listeners coming every week to our show. And don't forget, you can check us out on our YouTube channels. We're there, yeah? Email us, yeah? shampsandgiggles@gmail.com. We're on Instagram, yeah? We're on TikTok. Come check us. We're on Facebook, Shamps and Giggles, yeah? Black Edutainment, and we're also on the one important one as well as the others, YouTube. So don't forget, check us out. Yeah, every day we're on there, and also on the radio. Come check us on the radio. We're on weekly. We're smashing it on the radio. So come check us. And
pretty much on every day.
On every day, and I will give you the list of that in our next segment. I'll give you that list. So don't forget it. All right. And that's how we go on. Hold tight. All right. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, the next one is a passion of mine. I just love it. I just love it, love it, love it. And that is the biggest, and in my opinion, the best Notting Hill Carnival. Notting Hill Carnival.
What is it, a week, 2 weeks away?
It's 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. And for me, I will be there. 100%. I will be there. I don't drink, so
Keith gets there at 12 o'clock. He's gone by 3.
No, sir, that's not me. That's not me. I take a lot of pictures. I take a lot of pictures, and I just nice in my corner, and that's just me. And just you know what I mean. Yeah. Anyway, so we're live. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking to go to Carnival, come down, man. Support it. It's a lovely atmosphere. You'd thoroughly enjoy it. I'm not sure who's going or who's not going. Do you go to Carnival?
Of course, it is an enjoyable event. Last year was amazing. Year before was amazing. This year for me is a bit tarnished, to be fair. So I'm not the right person to ask. Cambridge Gardens is normally where we hang out, but of course,
yeah.
So, but no, Carnival's always, as many years as it's gone on, it keeps going. It goes on whether you're there or not.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, last year we had the Arawak band on.
That's right, the mass.
Talking about
the mass.
How to become a member of a band.
Yeah.
Those people that dance up in front of the floats.
That's
or
correct.
follow the floats.
The mass.
Which is pretty much just buy the outfit.
That's correct.
200-300 quid or something.
Yeah.
And then you could be dancing up, looking all good and amazing.
And help them win a competition.
And that's the thing, it's a competition. I mean, so many people don't realize that the various bands are competing.
Yep.
And the journey they take causes them to pass through and amongst the judges and so on.
That's correct.
Where they get judged.
Yep.
And at a certain point in time, they determine. How do they determine who wins and who doesn't?
They see them. They look at the music, the choreography, how they're dancing, and also most importantly, the costume. Different, more forward thinking, outlandish.
I came third one year.
Okay, 1 minute. Hold on, and you can let us know about that. So they get judged on all those elements, and sometimes you have to be coordinated. That's why it's so important that they have a good amount of people there in costume. And that's why they say
the numbers of people in costume counts for the judging.
Oh yeah, it does as well.
So if you've got 50 people, you're more likely to win than if you've got 30 people.
No. But there you go. That's where the money is, and so they as an individual, you're buying that costume because you know that band or that mass band or that mass group has got the following, and they've got the skilled craftsman or woman to do what they do.
It's only recently that I realized that these, first of all, that it was a competition, and that too, the becoming a member of a band requires buying the costume.
Oh gosh, yes.
And of course, how to go about. I don't think it's properly marketed.
Well, they do it on their Calypsonian sites and when they play out and when they're doing things, because they have inner little competitions where they show their outfits prior to Carnival.
Right.
So they have.
Oh, that's that's Panorama, isn't it?
Panorama.
Yeah.
Panorama is more for the steel.
So Carnival starts long before the Monday.
Long before.
So obviously the bands are getting themselves ready.
Yes.
But I think on the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, in the run up to Carnival, something's going on then.
Yeah, they do. Most of the steel bands and the bands, they have little segments within their own area. So they have a not a competition, but a play out so people can hear what they're going to play at the competition. So that's running. And then after that cut off, then they have Panorama.
Right.
Competition just before the Carnival weekend.
That's Saturday night, isn't it?
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct in Lambert Grove. But before we talk into things, I see Pinky's hand is up. Go ahead, Pinky. And anyone else who's going to Carnival, let us know.
Talk
the things. Come ahead, Pinky.
Now, I remember when I used to jump mass with my children, and we did a show. We came third in the runner-up for the costumes. And would you believe we made our costumes ourselves, and we did them in the Barbados colours. And I think what made us win was my daughter Kiki. She did a wicked, and her and two of the other girls with the costumes that they had made wearing the dancing, because they do like the choreography as well.
Mm.
She was quite young. She was so young. She was only about 5, but she was doing her little teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, and that put us boom bang right into 3rd place.
No.
But
What
that
listeners don't know is Kiki a big woman now.
Huh?
What the listeners don't know is that Kiki is a big woman now.
Yeah, she's 22 now. So yeah, that was a year that we spent on the road. I used to always jump for mass, particularly because London Transport used to give us their bus. So that was really nice. Yeah, we used to get 2 buses every year. So yeah, so we went on a little banner, and it was
Wow.
nice.
Oh, well done.
Amazing.
Okay, well, let's see what Dion, because I don't think Dion might be new to this carnival episode.
Dion knew?
No.
I don't know what you're talking about, Keith.
I'm just gonna find out from Dion herself. So let's see.
Say nothing. Go on, Dion. Talk to Dion.
I've been going carnival since I was a little girl. And since my mum took me since I was a little girl, and I don't miss carnival. I think I missed carnival once. That's when I had my child and I was crying, listening to it on Choice FM, crying because I couldn't go. That's once in my life, apart from COVID. So I go carnival every year without fail. And me and James are going to do the 4-day morning. So when we do the paint, Juve, yeah, we're going to do that
on the Sunday. Yes, I did that last year. Amazing.
We did it last year, and it was fantastic last year. So we're going to do it again this year.
Oh, did you take our CEO with you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see you out there.
We did it last year. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, the float didn't go far. It just stayed on the bridge and disappeared.
Yeah.
And then we find out that it was further down. I was like, come on now.
Yeah, people.
You're doing Juve this year, you're saying? You're doing Juve?
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it again. Normally we would go Shirley's because we always go Shirley's for the last.
I know, that's what I just meant.
You know,
I want to say,
but yeah. So that's going to be sad that we can't go there.
Yeah,
and have a ackee and saltfish and a rum
Lord,
and things
and climb up the stairs.
Yeah. So well that's gonna be sad. But yeah, we go every year, every single year. We used to have a stall out there for about 8 years. So make loads of money. And toilets, we used to sell toilets, we used to sell drinks, we used to sell t-shirts, everything. Yeah, so
well done, Dion. And I take it back, ladies and gentlemen. I take it back. I'll refrain my words.
Yeah, and it backtrack.
Yeah. And my children love carnival. They go all the time.
Yeah. Oh, well done. Thank you very much.
That's it.
No, hold on, no.
Hold on, because Spin Doctor never.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's long time. Spin Doctor, start the thing. Wrong one.
Why, I might be a party pooper.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
In advance. Go on,
sorry. 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, Time Out done their study about the 98 million turnover for the 2 days that is generated from the carnival. Now I see The Voice come out with some figures that I was thinking, where did they get their figures from? But they came up with 398 million pounds over the weekend. I don't know, but with the 98 million, or was it 92? Sorry, back in the day, they said 6 million was because they paid for the police for the weekend. That's paying for the police.
Yeah, 6 million. Doesn't sound like a lot.
Yeah, but my thing is that all the floats and the people that wear the t-shirts, you pay to wear a t-shirt to jump up, whine for other people to watch you. But when you look at it, you're not really generating. It's like we're paying to enjoy ourselves, and other people are just watching us for free. Whereas if this was, let's say, a festival. This would be a sure money spinner, really, for the community.
Are you saying charging for carnival?
That's what I'm trying to hear.
Because all right, if they've come to a figure that he can earn over 398 million, who's getting this money? Who's making money off of? Because if the people, if you're behind a float, you're actually paying to wear the t-shirt to jump up. You're actually paying for your costume. You're actually paying to be on a float. Yeah. To go around the circuit, what, probably twice. Yeah, it's nice, but I kind of think it's kind of served its time now,
That's a
because
question what you're saying there, because as the various bands members have to buy the outfit. So yeah, you're right. They're paying.
right.
So
If
how
they-
does
if
the
they-
band?
yeah.
Well, the band, unless they make money on.
All right, let's say
I've
if
asked
you've
this
got-
question 100 million times to be fair. How do they make money in Carnival? Because Glastonbury, you know they're making money,
yeah,
right?
but
So how do Carnival is different?
if you don't wear a costume, if you wear a t-shirt, you have to. It's like you got there's ones that wear the costume, and then ones that wear the t-shirt. Even if you wear the t-shirt, that will cost you probably, I'm gonna say, £40, 80 quid for the 2 days probably. And all you do is you just follow them at the back. You just at the back with the t-shirt, ain't you?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, if you go back to the original, let's say, look at the original reason why the carnival was there. We have to really go back and look at what true legacy is this about? They say in the Caribbean it was because Emancipation Day.
Yeah, but nobody wants to look that back, to be fair.
Slavery. Pardon?
Nobody wants to look that far back, to be fair.
Yeah, okay. Okay, in the UK.
And have a good time.
All right. Do you know about Kelso Cochrane?
No.
Kelso Cochrane was a gentleman when, I can kind of say, I don't know if it is the Windrush, it might be pre-Windrush, but what had happened, Kelso Cochrane was beaten up, I think, in Notting Hill somewhere.
In the 60s,
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, I forgot the lady's name. So there was riots in that area. So the carnival was started up to bring harmony back into that area, and it's gone bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, actually, the carnival
before that,
Pardon?
He got beat up, but I think there was a couple of years when.
No, sorry, he never got beaten up. He's dead.
Yeah, he died.
He died. Yeah, but I think the carnival was more. It was a female. I mean, we spoke about this before, and it's good that you bring it up, enable us to speak to it again. Pinky, I can see your lips moving. I just can't hear no sound.
But it's Claudia Jones.
He wasn't on them times when we covered that, and that was Claudia Jones, yeah.
Right, Claudia. So he was stabbed in 1958.
Yeah, and it was Claudia Jones.
Sophia, thank you, and Alicia. And he died in West London. But Carnival didn't start in 58, 59.
Before that.
No, I think it was 60.
Because it was after the riots. It was
after the disharmony and riots that was happening in the area.
When did Carnival start then?
Which was as a result of starting it up. As a result, at Acton, it started off at Acton Town.
Yeah, that's 7 years later.
Yeah.
7 years after the stabbing, Carnival started. I knew it was 66.
Carry on, Pinky.
But if you have disharmony in your area, what normally might have started off as a party then goes as a street party just to get people together, and then it might go into a carnival.
Yeah, but Carnival,
the street parties.
But anyway, Carnival is a bit more than that. Supreme Doctor, it's a bit more than that, and it did begin out of certain time of the year, which is always around this time, as you said. It is when people wasn't only about emancipation, but it was also about what we call the beginning of the crop.
Well, that in Barbados you have crop over.
That's right. That's right.
As a
So wait. I'm trying to give you a bit of history of
Yeah.
why Carnival began. So it was about the beginning of the crop when we used to cut the cane. So we'd have our little festive and everybody would dress up in white, and it was their spiritual way of doing their thing. So Carnival goes back, you know, I always say it goes back, and even Barry Gordy said it, because it goes back as far as the bongo, if you want to look at Carnival.
Hold on, Barry Gordy from the Motown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because there's carnival everywhere. It's not in one country. So if you're really going into the history, it goes way back.
Well,
Right.
You
And
know,
it has,
way back.
and it does,
okay.
and it does, and like you said, it does have, and there used to be, and for some people still, it does have its spiritual elements, because I mean, if you look into Barbados and you'll see people who those who mud up. It's all different. It's got different different connotations and different spiritual background. As I said, some of it had a lot to do with the beginning of the crops and when they cut the crops. Some of it was about our emancipation, and also the fact of the different cultures in terms of even if you go back to African heritage, you will see certain dances that they do. You know, if you want to call him the witch doctor, that the witch doctor is a part of our heritage. It is a part of our history. It's not just about fling up yourself and fling up your body. You know, it's for yourself.
So we was asking who's going to
That's right.
Carnival. I think that's what we.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spin Doctor wanted to. But he's not really one for Carnival, as you.
Oh, so you're not a Carnival goer, Spin Doctor?
You never.
He said that we have to pay, and I get you when you say you have.
You never let me land. You just went straight into
1 minute.
the definition of Carnival. Okay.
We never let you land.
You never let me land. You let her take the driving seat, innit?
Do you know what, Spin Doctor? As usual, isn't it? It's as usual. And this is the thing. This is Spin Doctor. You're definitely going to land the plane. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, this is what Shampton and Giggles is about. I'm so sorry. We do have these sort of entanglements, if you want to call it. And that's what we're about. And that's why we're live.
Come in, man. Land the plane. Land. You're playing land. Yes, you're playing land.
Come, assistant. Come, assistant. Come.
I want to go back to the young lady from Barbados. There is you must know about, is it Bosso? Bassa. And he was the one that organized the rebellion in Barbados, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
And
when?
I can't remember what year it was, but Busso decided. I think there was a saying that Bassa. Yeah. So
He's a strong man. He came from. He officially came from Ghana.
I was told that
I want to find out if you're going yet. This is a long way of you telling me.
Right, going.
If you're going to Carnival or not. I want to know. So you haven't landed the plane, and you still haven't mentioned
the T-shirt money, and he doesn't
want to stand on the young lady in Barbados who didn't let the plane land, and you're carrying on. So I'm interested now. You got me. You and Barbados continue talking to me.
No.
We're going to watch on it.
I'm totally
okay. I'll be honest with you. The only reason why I would go to Carnival now is to listen to Saxon, the original Saxon, not the one with Alan Brando.
What was in Tate Museum of
the original Saxon?
That was a youth band then, was it?
Yeah.
At the Tate Museum.
They were at Tate Museum this week.
Yeah, but that's Alan Brando. To me, that's not Saxon. That's a disco, right?
Okay.
Original Saxon.
Me personally, because the original Saxon is the Mike MCs and stuff like that. That's what I'm known Saxon for, and it's interesting that you said that, because something is known for something originally, and somebody takes it over. it's, you get what I mean? And that's how I see the carnival. The carnival is now commercial. It's a commercial branding thing for certain, let's say, certain brands. People don't go carnival. To me, people don't go carnival for carnival, the real essence of the carnival.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think.
Why do they go? Why do they go? Why do they go?
I think they just go to try and link up man and link up woman and go around and get drunk and act stupid.
Standard, though, isn't it?
Standard.
Yeah, that's what carnival's about.
But yeah, but
being free.
All right. If I was to say, what is the legacy of the carnival then? What is what?
It is carnival. Go out there, drink, be happy, and then do what you're doing, and then wait for the next year to do it again.
Yeah. So that's where I have a
So you're not going to go because
drink and be merry. That is it, man. You can be merry.
It's also
1 minute, Pinky.
No, let Pinky come in. She can fly the plane now.
You then. God,
did you land the plane though?
No. We're on Barbados. I want to go on Barbados Airwaves, man.
No, Spin Doctor. But what about our legacy of
plane's gonna run out of fuel, mate?
Pan? What about our legacy of steel pan through the Caribbean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm waiting because I'm
wait.
What about? I mean, what about our legacy of
oil paint, the flute,
Keith,
the recorder,
no,
the saxophone. What's this? Give us a clue.
The little whistles,
Oh, the horn and whistles.
What horn and whistle do that?
Is we invent that? Is we invent pan?
The
whistles.
Oh, but the whistle don't have notes.
That's in carnival.
Yeah, they do. They're the little short
recorder.
Note one.
Flute.
Yeah, the small little wooden flutes. Them, of course. You hear them play them sometimes when you hear them going to war.
In carnival.
Of course, but we give it a different sound.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because usually you get the bat when you get like the full, like say, like even in Barbados.
One.
Oh look, George has got one, man. Oh, he just dropped it.
Dropped it. George got
there
one.
we go.
Yeah.
It's a flute. What's the name of that, George? What's it called? Can't hear you, mate.
Flute.
He got it.
I know the one you mean. They're like them old push pops, the whistle pop.
Yeah.
You used to be able to buy the sweet with a whistle pop.
But these little ones there as well, the wooden ones, those are good.
Yeah. This one.
What's that wooden one called, George?
This one's just a little wooden one that I picked up the other day by fluke.
Recorder.
It's not quite a recorder. It's made out of one piece of wood, so it doesn't have the reed like a recorder would have.
Oh right, the top bit.
Just wood. It's much harder to play, and no, I'm not about to attempt it.
No, but for me,
did you get that in Carnival though?
Sorry,
you get that from Carnival or?
I've never been to Carnival.
Oh, well, there you are.
Yeah, okay. I remember I was meant to come last year and I couldn't come. I wasn't well, but I really want to try this year, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. The panorama really interests me. I love all the music. For me, if I'm honest, if I went Carnival, I'm not going to lie, it would be about the music.
Yeah.
That's,
have a drink as well, George. Don't lie.
Yeah, that's our bloodline.
As well.
I mean, but no, but just to listen to Steel Pang, to listen to Pang.
Yeah, and the bongos and everything. I love all.
Hold on 1 second. Panorama, because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
Panorama.
Yeah.
Do they now charge for it?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they
do. So if you want to
you could
they charge you to go in the ground. They charge you £10 to go in the ground.
I was going to ask how much. Is it £10?
Well, it was up until a couple of years when I was going. I don't know if they've heisted it now, but they was charging £10 to go in that tent place where they do the competition.
And where they do it right. And that's on a Saturday, right?
Huh?
That's on the for our listeners. Yeah. So on the Saturday, it's around about £10, right. Might be £20. Let's just put it out there, yeah. And you have to pay to because a lot of people just stay on the Kensal Road. I think it's
that's
a lot of people stay on the road.
Listen outside and listen outside, but it's not it's not the same still because when you're inside, man, and if you love Pang, If
Well,
you love
listen.
to hear how they play.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have to call it a day. We have to call it a day. The time's just gone quick.
Flipping out.
It's Carnival coming up in 2 weeks' time. Just be safe and enjoy yourself and get home safe. This is Shamps and Giggles. What would you like to say to the listeners?
Well, as you know, it's history, news, views, and reviews from a black perspective. We do this every week. I don't know how much time we got left. It's seconds remaining. Thank you to all the listeners.
Just be safe at Carnival and don't
Panorama is well worth a 10 and pay the 10 or 20 pounds to go in and support, because that's how money's made to keep the carnival going.
That's right.
Yeah, and don't cause no trouble at our carnival because we love it.
That's right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen,
we
have to finish. We have to finish and cut certain people off. It's at the end of the day. Listen.
Okay, bye. We're done. We're told to quit. Okay.
Good night. Bless. See you next week.